Yo, what's up out there? Got some new comics to share with you. Lots of good stuff. Let's get into it. This was from an online seller I picked up a few books from that I thought were good investments or at the right price, and then I was close to free shipping, so I threw a couple of other books in just to kind of get there, because if you ever play that game where you're spending like, you're $6 short to get free shipping, or you can pay $5 for the shipping, might as well just get the extra buck. So this is X23 number 2, the sketch variant. I paid $3.60 for that. I got a Flash Rebirth first Godspeed. It's in like a couple panels. I haven't read any of this new Flash. I heard it was pretty good. I guess Godspeed's in like a little bit here and there for a while in the series, till he makes like a full comic, full story debut. Paid $5 for that. Vengeance of Moon Knight number 2, the variant, zombie variant. I paid $7.50 I think for this. Now this book, when you first look at this, and at least myself, I thought, I kind of think, although it's not totally in his style, when I see any type of Marvel zombie variant, I just think it's Arthur Suyam, where you say his name, who does all the zombie work. But I believe this was from the Zombies month, when they had different artists do different zombie covers across a bunch of titles. And this one's actually Francisco Mattina, very hot artist right now. And this book does sell pretty well. I don't know that I've ever come across one in the wild. Like I said, I paid like $7.50 for it. It sells for about, it's near mint, it's a real nice copy. It sells for about $30. So that's one to keep an eye out for while you're digging. These couple I just got because I don't really see them. I don't know what their value is. There's none online that I saw. This is Vampirella. I believe this isn't number 1. What is this? Number 21. This is jcompanycomics.com variant. And this is actually Tyler Kirkham, limited to 500. So, what did I pay for this? Paid $10 for it. Like I said, not really sure what it was worth. I had it on my want list from this online retailer, and somebody stocked it up, and so at one point I put it on there because I must have thought it had some value. Pretty cool cover. And then also this one, I paid $19 for it. It's a Vampirella number 1 Joe Mad variant, and it's actually a wraparound sketch. Now there is a red variant, red pencil variant as well. This one is the 1 in 75, and again, I think there was like one of these online when I looked. I mean, $19 for a 1 in 75 Joe Mad. Vampirella is really starting to get a little bit of notice with their variants. A lot of the Dynamite stuff is starting to get notice, or maybe it's just always been popular, and I don't really look at much of their stuff because it's, I guess it's gotten more popular now with the Perillo covers and the Vampirella covers and whatnot, Warlord of Mars, etc. So, I don't think that was a bad deal. $19 for that. What do we got next? This was another online seller. I just purchased this by itself. Probably not a bad price considering recent news that Danger Girl has been optioned for a movie. The movie that nobody demanded. First J. Scott Campbell creation to get optioned for a movie. I guess he really doesn't have a lot of creations. He's got Danger Girl and Gen 13. This is the preview, American Entertainment exclusive edition preview. Came out before Danger Girl number 1. And this is the gold foil variant. I paid $11.50 for it. It's not a near mint copy. It's got a little bit of cover rubbing, like a little bit of dirt Obviously, being the white cover, tough to find a clean one, I'm sure. But I think that's a good. I mean, right now, with news just broke, it's selling for 40, 50 bucks maybe. Let's see. These I got from an online seller. I got these off of eBay. A couple videos ago, I showed I picked up a bunch of Venom Carnage run because I think it's going to be tie into the movie to a point. I mean, if they market the movie right, I think this series will heat up more than it has in the past. It's already a fairly sought after series. It's got great Clayton Crane covers. You know, the symbiote magician between him and Matina. So I picked up 2, 3, and 4 for $27, and mainly I got it just for number 2 because I'm short on those to make some sets, but I do have extra number 1s, so worked out well. 27. I mean, that's about right probably. I just don't see them out in the wild very often, and when I see them on eBay, try and find them for a good price. This was a different retailer. Again, I think this was like I was trying to find enough stuff to get free shipping. This book I had on my list for a while because I think it's a pretty nice cover. John Carter, Warlord of Mars, number 1. This is the J.G. Jones cover. I don't know if it's a variant or like a B cover, but it's a wraparound. It's a pretty nice cover. I really like J.G. Jones, so I had that one on my list. Mainly I got it because I bought from this person because I wanted to see about these. They had them for $5. They were still bagged, and the color version of this Batman 47 Alex Ross, the color version has been staying pretty steady around 20 for a good while now, and every once in a while it pops up to like 40. So I figured I'd take a chance at $5 each, see if I get a color one. They were both to sketch, which I paid $5. I think that's about the price that they sell for. Maybe a little more, maybe less. So, yeah, whatever. I also picked up a Spawn number 1 for $11. It's a pretty nice near mint copy. I do have a hard time finding like a real near mint, like 96, 98 copy of these. A lot of people at shows have them for 20, but they have a little bit of spine stressing on them usually. I was happy with this one. Pretty nice copy. This one, again, I just bought by itself because it's gotten pretty hot. I think I overpaid for it. I had like 2 copies, and this book just started to jump up because of Venom stuff, and so I sold the couple copies I had because I paid pennies on the dollar for them. You know, over time, this was not a hard book to find in dollar boxes, so I bought this one for $28, thinking I could maybe get 50 out of it, but I don't know. I think I'm gonna be stretching to get that because it was listed as near mint. It is a nice copy. It's definitely a near mint copy, so got that going for it, but we'll see. Picked up a couple of these because of the Umbrella Academy casting. Ellen Page is going to be in the show, which I think is big news for the show. So this is their first appearance, free comic book day, paid $7 for it. Doesn't really seem to be doing much right now. Maybe as it starts to move into production and some stuff comes out, it'll pick up a little bit more. We'll see. You know how that goes anymore. I mean, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. All right, what else we got here? This I picked up. I don't think I was just looking for something to buy, and this book has kind of been on my watch list for a while. It's pretty tough to find. I think there may be one. Actually, I don't think there was one that just sold, I think, on eBay, but for about 30, and I paid 28 for it, so I paid about market price. But I really don't see them around very often. This is a 1 in 25 variant. I think it's Chris Balcho, his artist. You know, keep an eye out for it. It's, like I said, it's pretty hard to find, at least from what I've seen. These are from a local con I went to, which was probably one of the worst cons I've been to. I think I paid $7 to get in, and before I bought this, I was like at almost even with what it cost me to get in. Not really a good show, in my opinion. Star Wars 49, Last Jedi, I overpaid for this. I mean, it's like a fine copy. I paid $10. I think that's what you should be paying for a near mint copy. The movie comes out, you know, in a couple weeks or something. Yeah, we'll see. After that, it's going to be back down to the bottom for this. So I don't know if you've read this. I mean, I'll give you a spoiler. I wouldn't buy it if you're thinking it has anything to do with the movie. It doesn't. I think I mentioned this before when I picked one up. It's basically about this guy over here. I don't even remember what his name is, but he was like the last Jedi, supposedly, and yeah, it's a standalone story. Doesn't tie into anything really. Crosswind number 2, the 1 per store variant. Paid $2 for it. This was optioned as well, so I don't know. It's okay, I guess. I mean, somebody explained the story to me. It was like, it's like husband and wife who are like killers or something, but then also their gender switches or something like that. So they were telling it to me. I was like, so basically it's like, what was that, Mr. and Mrs. Black, the Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie movie, where they were killers and married each other and didn't know it. Yeah, I don't know. Didn't sound very original to me. So, but for $2, I figured it was worth it. These I got for $2 as well. The Spawn, Ultimate Spider-Man, homage, and I picked up some more issues from the Dark Horror Spawn story arc for $2 each. I've mentioned this before. I think it's a decent story arc so far. We'll see where it goes. I kind of like it. I think long term, it could be one of those story arcs that people get into. They'll be a little bit more sought after. So that was all I got at that con. Like I said, you know, I spent, I don't know what, $25 or something. These I found off of Craigslist. An ad that somebody had, and went and looked at their stuff. They didn't have a lot of good stuff, but I found a few things. Paid $5 for that. The controversial She-Hulk cover number 40. Paid $10 for a run of the Daredevil Born Again, which is supposedly what the next season of the Daredevil Netflix show will be based off of. And so what is this? So it's like 6 issues, and also 232, the first appearance of Nuke. So that's not bad. Less than $2 an issue. But this was probably the best things I got. The seller said, well, I said, what do you want for these? And they said, well, I don't know. They're kind of beat up. They're probably not really worth anything. I said, how about $5 each? I said, okay. Seemed happy with that. Amazing Spider-Man 36 for $5. I mean, it's really not. I think the staples are rusty. Otherwise, it's a pretty decent shape book. 43 and 63. I mean, that was definitely a good deal for those. $5 each. Can't go wrong with some old Spideys at $5. All right. So let's see what else we got. I picked up one of these. I think this might be my second copy of this. I love this cover. I think down the road it'll be worth more than it sells for now too. I mean, it was known that it was coming. The Image was solicited and people knew to stock up on it, but I just think it's a really cool cover. Del Otto, Spider-Man number 2, paid $13 for it. Here's one you might want to try and look for, although it's kind of all over the place. Zombie Tramp number 23. This is the Risque Sketch variant. Paid $7 for this. Now, like a month ago, one sold for during an auction for like $200, and there's one listed as a buy it now for about $200 that is not sold. But then another couple sold for like $7 or $10. So I'm not sure what happened with that one auction, but I think this is like a one in, or there's like 2,000 printed maybe. That's what I read in one place, so I don't know. I really like this cover. All New Wolverine number 23. This is the John Tyler Christopher trading card variant. Now this, the reason I picked it up though, I love his trading card variants. I think I showed it last video maybe. There was a Venom one that I picked up just because it's a really cool cover. He's a good artist. He does nice stuff, but he just kind of got pigeonholed into the action figure variants. But he does some really nice stuff. I just saw the Silver Sable one that came out, and that one is really nice. This one though, reason I picked it up was because it features the last panel. Kind of ties into like the Weapon H stuff, where in the last page of this, a woman gets broken out of one of those cryogenic things that they have the people in, that they have the test subjects in, or the engineered humans, and she's in her arms, she's in Laura's arms, and she says, "Mom," question mark. And her mom is dead, so is she re-engineered or what? I don't know. I haven't read much of this. I've heard this, well, I think this All New Wolverine, from what I've seen, it's a pretty good storyline. People are buying into it. So you might want to keep an eye out for that. Maybe like, you'll find it in a $2 bin later when they're blowing out the variants that didn't sell. Bought these online on eBay actually. Paid about $19 each. Masters of the Universe 12 and 13, the newsstand variants. They're probably like a VF, near mint VF maybe. Not bad. I've owned a set of those before. They're pretty sought after. This I picked up on a whim, kind of. Wonder Woman, the Delato Bulletproof Comics variant. This was the NYCC supposed variant with the flaming swords. I mean, these aren't cheap. I paid $43 for this. Looking back, I probably wouldn't have bought it, but I think the print run was 1,000 or 750 or something. I think it was 1,000. But I mean, it's nice cover. Delato just does not miss, really. I mean, if you show me a cover where he's really missed on it and just said, "Oh, this is not good." I mean, maybe a small handful of all of his work. And speaking of Delato, I picked this up. This is the Euro variant of the Civil War. I think it's 1 through 3 that Delato did for Bulletproof. I paid $30 for it. I had an eBay coupon at the time. I really want to get these as single issues. They're really awesome. This is like a gatefold cover. There are 3 issues that connect. So you can see Wolverine and Hulk, Spider-Man and Deadpool is one, and then I can't remember who's with Thanos, but I don't know. I think it's Thanos. I think that's his arm coming there. So this is the Euro variant. I think it's limited to like 2,000 maybe, or 1,000. It says on the back of it. That's the one thing I do like about when Panini reprints stuff, they put the print run on the back of it usually now, which is pretty cool. Alright, now we're at the point of the haul where Yanni does his retailer rant, which seems to be all too common, unfortunately. This was a Loot Crate variant, or a Loot Crate reprint, I should say, that they sent out in a box one month. And I saw online somebody posted, "Hey, they got these for sale now. The overstock. They were, I don't remember, like $3.50 maybe each or something, $4 or something. So I ordered it. Today is November 25th. It just came in the mail yesterday, and I went back and checked my email. I placed the order on August 23rd. So almost exactly 3 months later, this thing finally arrived. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's totally unacceptable. So I'm going to keep that in mind if and when or if I ever think about ordering from Loot Crate again. So that was like I didn't have to buy the box. They had extras that they just sold all the pieces individually when they don't sell everything that they make. Here was a great find. This was on one of my online retailer wish lists. DC Universe Legacies number 8, the variant. I think it's Frank Quitely. This book got hot maybe about a year ago, and there was not really many to be found. Some have surfaced since then, as is typical. They'll get found at shops and whatnot, but I don't know. I mean, a lot of people have them listed around 100. I don't know what the latest sales were. Maybe 60 to 80, maybe. I don't know. But I paid $27 for this, and when I say the wish list is a good thing to have, I'm sitting there, I get an email, pops up, I see it's this book, boom, go right to it, and don't even screw around. Sometimes I'll screw around trying to get a few more things, like if trying to get shipping down or whatever, but this was one of those ones where it was, man, I just got to go on this price because somebody else may come in and swoop it. So I got lucky, got that one for $27. And finally, this is a Black Friday sale from a somewhat local shop, not that close. I go there a couple times a year maybe. Found some, they had these for half cover price. All New Wolverine 1 and 2. First Gabby and the first official X-23 as Wolverine. So I paid $4.50 for both of those. Good price. I saw some sales, like when you have them like that, sell them for $20-25. I mean, number 1 is probably a $8 to $10 book. Same with number 2 on a good day. On a good day for both of them, probably. Amazing Spider-Man 360. Paid $2.50 for that. I've had plenty of these in the days that I've gotten for cheap, but this was a real nice sharp copy, so I figured why not. $2.50 for Amazing Spider-Man 410, the Carnage Spider-Man, cool cover. $6 Spider-Man 611. I don't know what that sells for now. It was kind of getting up there for a while. Maybe it might be back down to 10-15. Who knows? Black Lightning number 1. This is kind of a beat copy. It's probably like a fine. Paid $2.50. Not bad. Here was one that I thought was worth more than it was. I didn't look it up when I was there. Carnage number 2, the second print. I paid half cover, so paid like $2 for it. It's not number 2, but this sells for like $10-12. Number 3 is the harder one to find. The second print variant of number 3 sells for $60 or something crazy. This one I splurged a little bit on because I've found these before for $1 each. Flashpoint Batman, paid $15 for the set. This one seems to be holding around like $30 to $40 for the set, so that's a good price still. Joker number 1, paid $3 for that. It's probably about a fine copy, maybe even a little bit better. That was a pretty good buy, honestly. That's about fine, I think. This was a pretty good steal. Justice League number 40. They had like $15 on this, and everything was half off. I'm surprised this thing was still in the store. I mean, this book was hot the day that it came out, and for $15, I think that's well worth it, no matter what day you walked in there to shop. So I'm really happy to get that one. It's the one in 25. This one just looked pretty nice, I thought, so I felt, why not add it? Maybe I'll try and get the whole Marvel Spotlight Ghost Rider run. I don't have the first appearance, but I do have the second that I actually bought from the same shop last year, I think. So I paid $5 for that, not bad. These were 50 cents, pretty good buy. These can sell for $8 to $10. Moon Knight 26 and 27 Delato covers. Delato Punisher. 50 cents each, can't pass that up. New Avengers number 11. First Hawkeye Ronin, which is rumored to be in the next Avengers movie, in the Infinity Gauntlet movie. We'll see. It's $2. I paid $2 for it. It's selling right now for around 10, I think. 8, 10. Something like that. 6, 8, 10, something. How about these? Again, talking about like stuff that's been sitting in this shop. And at the price they were asking was a good buy, but I got them at 50 off. Lethal Protector number 1 newsstands. These were $3 each. Now I got to this part in the long box, and they had one, and I was like, oh, please be a newsstand. And I lifted it up. It was a regular for $6, direct edition. And then I flipped to the next one, and I lifted it up. I was like, oh wow, newsstand, heck yeah. And they had one more, and it was a newsstand as well. So that was a really good find. This was selling for like 50 at one point. Now it's selling for about 25, 30. So that was a really good find. Really lucky. A couple more. So these, like the Batman, I got as a set, and they had this bundled as a set too. Harbinger 0 through 7, and the price tag on it, again, the price tag was $15, regular price. Now they do not have, all of them have the coupon cut, and that's why they were that low, I guess. But I mean, you can't find a Harbinger 1 for $15. I mean, especially, it's a VF near mint, no problem. So I got it half off, $7.50 for all those. Less than $1 an issue. Say $1 an issue, and 0 for 50 cents, because it's really like a half a comic. And here were probably definitely the best buys of the day at the shop. Well, not the best buys. These were the more pricey books, I should say, that I bought. Spider-Man 316, nice near mint copy for $25. That's going for, if you look at an honest near mint copy, right now they're selling for $60 or better. It's crazy. I mean, there's some, I saw a raw, it was graded raw 9.8, so take it with a grain of salt, but it sold for like $150. And I think a slab is going for like $400 now. That's why. Pretty crazy. I mean, it's an awesome cover, but you know, 2 years ago it was still like a $15, $20 book. I got a Spider-Man 238, nice copy. It's probably like a VF near mint. Again, this does not have the tattoos, so take it for what it's worth. That matters to some people. Some people just want a copy of it. I paid $25 for it, so not bad again. And then this one I just pretty much had to get to get it, because at the price I couldn't really pass it up, because you're not going to find it really for this price. Now it is beat the heck. Incredible Hulk number 5, I paid $59 at the end of the day. And I will say, you know, I had my stack. These 3 books were in a case. And then I had my other stack, and I took them up to the front. The guy rang him up. He knows me. I've been seeing him at shows and whatnot. I don't buy a lot from him, but when I go to this sale, I usually drop a few bucks. So we had that stack priced out. I came over and kind of said, what can you do on these 3? We kind of talked about a price, and we're walking up to the counter, and I pulled out cash to pay, and we get up there, and he said, you know what, just make it this amount and we'll call it even, which was lower than it was going to cost me even. And I think it was because I was paying with cash. I mean, cash is king. I've really come to realize that in the past couple of years. If you're going to go to a show, it's way better to have cash, because you'll get better deals. So that was, you know, I was really happy to get that. And this is a pretty cool. So being in the condition that it's in, I'm not worried about reading it in terms of damaging it. So I thought I'd give it a read. It actually has 2 stories in it. And the one part I thought was funny is this guy captures Hulk, and he like takes him into this arena to fight. And is that the first World War Hulk right there? You know, he's got all the armor on. I mean, obviously it's not Planet Hulk, but I just thought that was kind of interesting. Like, I wonder if that was taken from the if the concept of that was taken and adapted. And then the other cool thing I found is this, you know, the letters page. There was a couple real cool, couple little letters in here. It's only a page, and I found all of them very interesting to one degree or the other. But the one thing I thought was cool was this guy wrote in and he said, "Why did you have the story labeled as Jack Kirby when the art was obviously Steve Ditko?" And he didn't really like Kirby, he's saying. And then but I thought the response was the cool part. The editor writes in and he says, "Yeah, we got short on time. Kirby drew it, and then Ditko came in and helped out to finish it and did the coloring." And they said, "As you can see now, we are starting to label the writer, the artist, and the colorist all separately." So I thought that was pretty cool. Just historic data that they were. You can see here. I guess Dick Ayers usually did the inking for the Hulk stuff, but Steve Ditko stepped in at one point on number 2, or I think it was number 2 or it was number 3 maybe. So that's pretty cool. Just comic book history, I thought. And that was all I got. You know, that's all I got to show you, really. Hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, found some awesome stuff, and obviously was trolling those dollar bins. I hope you're doing the same. Catch you next time. Thanks.